Hello, I'm Jonasz Rewiński and this is Military Mind. Armed conflicts, defense and security, land, sea and air. We've got you covered. Overnight, Russian troops attacked Ukraine with 728 drones of various types, according to the Ukrainian Air Force. This is the largest strike during the war to date. Additionally, Russian forces launched 7 cruise missiles and 6 aero ballistic missiles. The main target of the attack was Lutsk, according to a statement from the Ukrainian Air Force Command. Hits were recorded in 4 locations. According to the head of the region, the strike caused a fire in the warehouses of one of the local businesses. There is currently no information regarding any casualties. Drones also struck the Zaporizhia and Kiev regions, where authorities reported 3 people injured. Meanwhile, on Tuesday night, the Moscow region of Russia was attacked by drones, according to reports on Telegram, as well as from the mayor of the Russian capital, Sergei Sobyanin. The Russian authorities did not report any damage or casualties, but it is known that Sheremetyevo International Airport suspended operations as a result of the attack. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, air defense forces allegedly shot down 86 drones overnight. In an important development, the United States, at the behest of President Donald Trump, announced that it will send more defensive weapons to Ukraine. In addition to an official statement from the Pentagon, Donald Trump himself revealed the decision at a White House press conference. And now we're moving on to the Ukrainian front line. The Ukrainian military has reported that Russian troops managed to advance to the Siversky Donetsk-Donbass Canal from the direction of Grigorivka. According to their information, the Ukrainian military is actively using drones in this area, as well as to the south of Chasiv Yar, and is also striking at the Russian rear using aviation. War monitoring project Deep State has also reported on the advance of Russian troops in Toretsk. In one of the frontline areas, FPV drone operators of the legendary Madyar's Birds unit once again proved their skill at hunting down Russian forces. This time, a Russian BM-21 Grad multiple launch rocket system found itself in their sights. The footage released shows how the attack drone hits the target with pinpoint accuracy, and in a flash, a powerful fiery explosion tears through the sky, turning the occupier's equipment into a smoldering piece of scrap. You've got to admit, they literally pressed delete on that one. Now, there is not always time to think on the front lines. Sometimes one's fate is decided within a second, and one decision is all it takes to determine one's survival. This is exactly what happened when one fighter from the Kizhak brigade found himself in the direct line of sight of a Russian FPV drone. Just one shot from a pump-action rifle, and the drone, which was flying straight at his position, turned into a pile of burning plastic and metal. The reaction was lightning fast, and the shot was flawless, a real hunting instinct honed by real-life combat. In the southern sector of the conflict zone, anti-aircraft gunners of the Ukrainian 63rd Separate Mechanized Brigade accurately eliminated another airborne threat, a Russian Kub attack drone. The Russians tried to launch a precision strike on Ukrainian positions, but their air defenses were already on high alert. The drone tried to evade the attack, maneuvering and diving into the clouds, but it was all in vain. There is no escaping the 63rd, even in the endless skies. One well-aimed hit, and the expensive Russian toy was no more. This is actually the first recorded strike on this type of loitering munition by the Ukrainian unit. In terms of its characteristics, the Kub is almost as good as the Lancet, has a 3-kilogram warhead, and can easily destroy equipment and manpower alike. However, it costs much more, about $50,000 in fact. And as you have seen, this is the kind of video that we haven't really been seeing even a couple of months ago. Drone versus drone, something that a couple of years ago actually people thought would never happen. Dogfighting between drones, why? Never. And yet, here we are. And interception, using small drones which are capable of chasing down the larger Russian units, this is something that allows Ukrainians to somehow reduce the strain on ground-based air defenses. So they actually launch these drones and hunt down the Shaheds and other types of Russian drones which are trying to reach their targets. And in many cases, this is actually the key to success. Now, moving on to our next story. Russian assault groups tried to break through Ukrainian defenses in the northern part of the border village of Yunakivka in the Sumy region. However, they were caught by the operators of the attack UAVs of the Ukrainian Defense Forces. The drones hit the target almost immediately after the Russian groups move in. Take a look at the result. So this is how the Ukrainians are actually doing that. The Russians are on the run, but in order to actually accomplish something much greater, victory in this war, or at least a just peace, you need more than just military prowess. You need the economic arm of the offensive to move in as well, and this is something that Ukraine's allies need to do. There are, in fact, pieces of legislation containing sanctions on Russia. And, well, as we often like to say on this program, the time is now. Let's do it. And with this, we conclude this edition of Military Mind. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.